Why are Flask context locals like request and session special? Imagine trying to keep track of who is doing what in a busy kitchen. Each chef needs their own ingredients and tools, but they all share the same workspace. Flask handles web requests in a similar way. When you build a web application with Flask, you often need to access data that is specific to each user or each request. But if you just used global variables, things could get mixed up. That is where Flask's context locals like request and session come into play. They are special because they give you a way to access data that belongs only to the current request or user session, without passing that data through every function. Think of them as proxies that point to the right data for the current operation. When you use request or session in your code, Flask makes sure you get the right information for the current user or request, even if many requests are happening at once. This is important because web servers handle multiple users at the same time. Without context locals, you would have to pass request data around manually, which can be messy and lead to bugs. Flask system keeps each request's data separate and safe, even when multiple requests run simultaneously. It does this by pushing a request context when a request starts and popping it when the request ends. This process makes sure that data like request and session are only available during the write time. The request object holds data like the URL, headers, from inputs, and cookies for that specific request. The session object is a bit different because it stores information that lasts across multiple requests, like login status or user preferences. Flask manages sessions securely by signing cookies, so users cannot tamper with their data. Because of this setup, you can write code that simply uses request and session without worrying about which user or request it belongs to. It makes your code cleaner and easier to understand. Plus, it works smoothly whether your app runs on multiple threads, processes, or uses asynchronous programming. In short, Flask's context locals like request and session are special because they give you a safe, simple way to access user-specific data tied to each request. They hide the complexity of managing this data behind the scenes, making your application more reliable and easier to develop.